All right, so this is a 2021 Mercedes Sprinter van, 144 four-wheel drive. So the 144 has to do with the length, but it's not the length of the van, it's the length of the wheelbase. In the van world, there are a couple different capable vans, right? Okay. And a lot of them are traditionally the American vans, but Mercedes made a super capable van out of these Sprinter vans. So they, in the four-wheel drive version, they come with all the low gearing, and they're perfectly capable of hitting just about any trail that you're going to get out here, especially. The number one well, I've been wheeling for a long time. I've been wheeling, my first Jeep was in 1993. I've had a Jeep ever since then. But I'm old and I'm injured and everything hurts. And I wanted something that is still capable, but will give me a little bit more luxury to get out there when I want to camp. This is a company called AFN Off-Road, or 4x4. And they're actually based out of Portugal. This is the only one of these the bumper set in North America right now. Really? They are going to get them here eventually, but for now they reached out, asked me if I would run it, so of course I'm going to say yes. This bumper actually comes with a built-in winch plate and a built-in skid plate system. So if you follow, you follow that, it goes all the way back. Okay. And that protects all that front diff and all that stuff. These lights are KC HiLites. They're the Flex Era 4. They're the newest ones. Okay, so inside here, I just have the Super Winch 12,000 pound synthetic line winch. I've actually pulled a city truck that got high centered in the riverbed out of trouble one day with this winch. So I know it's perfectly capable to handle the job. Right. You can access it by taking these panels off. Awesome. And that will allow you, both of them come off, that will allow you to reset controllers and all that kind of stuff. The winch is Bluetooth, it has a Bluetooth controller too if you need it. This is called an Ultra Hook, and a little cap here protects the line while you're winching. Factor 55 is a great addition to any kind of recovery package. I went with the proven, test of time setup. This is the 6-cylinder diesel that Mercedes ran forever on the rigs, and they last. They're bulletproof. If you move to the side of the vehicle, you'll see the 8-pillar lights, which are the Flex Era 3s from KC HiLite, which is like the version before the 4s, but the size is a little bit smaller, and they make a perfect 8-pillar light. All right, moving over here, there is a company called Terrawagon. They make a few things for the Sprinter. One of the things they make is this snorkel, and inevitably, people make fun of snorkels, right? I've even heard it called a dorkel, which is very offensive. These things are not just to go underwater, right? We live in the Southwest, it's very dirty, it's very dusty. So it's a great way to vent your motor better, keep it cooler, keep it running more efficiently, and keep the dust out of your primary air filter system. You want to get your snorkel, and you want to get this pre-filter up here. Company called Snorkel Upgrade. So the lift controversy, and I will say it's a controversy, there's opinions all over the place. I have my personal opinion I'll share with you in a moment, but first let me show you these wheels. This is a 16-inch Black Rhino, which the 16-inch is the factory size wheel, and we have a 32 or a 265 KO2 by BFG all-terrain tire on it. Let's talk about suspension for a minute. I don't have a suspension lift on this.
No way. The clearance is insane.
The clearance is already great. So with me personally, I think the more drivetrain, the more motor, the more suspension stuff that you can keep OEM, the better off you're on. I could go up one more tire size without the sensors going crazy on the dash. So that's how that is. So I probably will go up one more tire size eventually, but this is a good solid setup for the Sprinter van. It doesn't push it too high in the air. It gets over anywhere you want to get to. So when it comes to suspension, I choose to just use skid plates. I invest in a skid plate system before I invest in a suspension kit. Personal opinion, I know I'm going to get hate on this, but I don't think the juice is worth the squeeze just yet on the suspension. I would invest in the skid plate system. Okay, so what you have up there is a Front Runner Outfitters roof rack. They gear these roof racks up on a ton of Sprinters. On top of that, we have the Sunflare 160 watt flat panels. These panels are super thin. You can walk on them, you can store things on them. They collect power from the sun like crazy. I love them. Our vans makes the best components for Sprinter vans. They're all aluminum, the manufacturing is top notch, and they design that will give you like this OEM design to their products, which that's why I love the side ladder, this giant box, which I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with this box in a second, and even this tire carrier, because these Sprinters infamously have tire carriers underneath where there's spare tires.
Right.
What good are they, right? So you got to get that out of there and put it on the back of your van. So right now you open it up, and you could store all of your, I have a couple chairs in there, but you could put your recovery, anything dirty, all that kind, that's great. But what about if you take this box and you convert it to an outdoor kitchen?
How would you even
talking
do that?
this. I'm going to build a stovetop in right here. We're going to have a propane setup right here. You're going to build in little places to put all your little spices and your stuff. And then I don't have to feel as bad by always telling my wife, I need you to go cook me food already. This is a Molly type system, right?
Okay.
So, and while I'm back, I'm going to open these doors, but this is a Molly type system. These guys make all kinds of attachments and stuff that goes right to this. This setup will be, they have bike racks, they have, you put those tracks on it, you mount your jacks or anything you want to these kind of Molly panels here, which I actually like. Oh, what's up, guys? I was just washing my hands. Come on in. So let me give you the breakdown of this. There's a couple things that I really like about this style of build versus the traditional van builders that build out all the wood and stuff. So when you hit the trails, inevitably, anything wood will break down way before anything aluminum. So everything in here is by a company called HiWay Customs. And the guy that actually started the company, he's been a lot of you guys heard of King of Hammers, right?
Of course.
He was one of the original 8s of King of Hammers.
He's badass.
He's an old school Jeep guy that's been in the industry forever. So when he brings that mind to these Sprinter vans, he came up with this great interior that's all riveted aluminum that you can install yourself really easily, and it lasts forever. Okay, so HiWay Customs made a bed system out of these 2 tall boxes. They both mount to the floor and the wall of your van, and the upper compartment's a storage. The lower compartment on this side is 20 gallons of fresh water with the filter that leads to this sink, and on the other side is all my electrical. But the way you set the bed up, and the reason they made this, because there's a lot of people off-road that like to ride motorcycles and stuff like that, so they didn't want to clog up this middle aisle. So they built a modular system that you could put together in seconds, so you can load your bike, surfboard, whatever you want up there. 2 boxes. You grab these metal plates here. You simply put them in the slots. They're locked in. And then they actually teamed up with a company called Rome Rest to make the perfect sized wall-to-wall mattress for their setup. The thing is this about these guys. So when I was dealing with this, I'm 6'3". So my feet hang out the edge here. That's when the idea came up that we will take the pedestal sink and we will mimic the cabinet on the opposite side with just a drawer system, and then create a smaller panel that we could drop in there and extend the bed for us tall guys. This is a great setup. So you see the upper cabinets, aluminum cabinets with bamboo doors, and notice the contour here. Most companies do not make upper cabinets for the factory headliner. This is a seat that will actually work as a place to keep your porta potty. Lagoon table, super red laser logo. We have the Dometic 100-liter fridge. I actually had this fridge in my Jeep before I even owned this Sprinter, and I've never had a single issue with it. Last but certainly not least is a company called Radius Outfitters. This headliner shelf. There are headliner shelves in the industry and they almost all look identical. This was the first one that I've ever seen that actually had this form and brought in more of the off-road aluminum / mesh components to it. So it has a great look. It's super durable. It's all hypoallergenic, all that kind of stuff. And one of the most important things about it is this cutaway here, because everybody smashes their head when they get out of the seat and come to the back. One last product that those guys make, which is probably one of my favorite products when it comes to this van, is the trash can. They call this a trash tube, and it's simply a little bag that locks into behind your seat with a bamboo top, and you throw everything away right there. You fill it up with trash, you take out the trash, you get rid of it. Everything stays clean and tidy. And honestly, guys, that's about it to my van.
How much money goes into one of these things?
With everything that I have in here, you were talking probably somewhere around $115,000 to $120,000.